Chip Washington. It's real talk. Man, it's real talk with your main Chip Washington. When it comes to information, the man got an arsenal. Bring you up to speed with what you need. He's the local and nationwide news feed. Let's talk about it. Dialect to do something about it. Chip got the flow wide open if you got questions about it. Man, it's the show that brings you to your raw. To solve all problems, it starts with real talk. Real talk. It's 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 real talk. Yeah. Welcome to Real Talk with your host, Chip Washington. It's real talk. It's real talk. It's real talk.
And yes, indeed, it is 6 o'clock on Monday evening. It is, I don't know what the date is. I think it's the 8th of the month. Is it the 8th? Okay. It is the 8th of February, 2021. This is Real Talk. I am your host, your humble host, Chip Washington. Very happy to be with you on this particular day. I hope that you're doing fine wherever it is you are and whatever it is you are doing. I hope that you have had a good week since we last reconvened about 7 days ago, and that you are upright, healthy, and strong, and not dealing with any illnesses whatsoever. Did you have a good Monday? Mine was long. Did I say my Monday was long? It was long. Yeah, it was long. But I'm glad that I was able to make it here tonight with my guys. Adam behind the board tonight. Marquette is here as well. They're both seniors in high school, and so at some point they're going to be leaving me, but we'll talk more about that as we get closer. I may or may not let them go. It all depends on my mood that particular day. And they're both laughing. We are going to have a pretty good show for you tonight. We're going to talk about a couple of issues that have really been in the news. So I'm going to open up this whole show with a question. Will we or won't we? I'll give you a few seconds to think about what I'm talking about. Will we or won't we? The Tennessee State Legislature is trying to pass a bill that would mandate you here in Shelby County to go back to school. If the bill passes, the governor would have executive powers to make it happen whether or not you wanted it to happen or not. All he had to do was a stroke of a pen and say, hey, you're back. Now, he has been wanting to get Shelby County schools back in the classroom by the 15th of this month, which is next week. And as of today, Shelby County is the only county in the entire state that it's still doing virtual learning. And I don't know that much has changed in terms of the mindset of the parents and in particular the teachers. We're going to talk to someone a little bit later on in the show about that is the head of one of the unions, United Teachers Union. We're going to talk a little bit about this whole conversation, and it's becoming a big deal now. So now the question is, what do you do? If the governor passes this legislation, this bill, which is sponsored by Brian Kelsey of Germantown here, that would give him the executive authority to mandate teachers and students, faculty and staff back to school without any other conversation or anything else involved in it. So my question is, are we ready? Now, this is for you teachers out there. I mean, are we ready? And for the administrators, think about all the schools in Shelby County and think about all the areas that these schools reside in Shelby County. Some good, some not so good, some bad. Some of these schools are very old, very old, and need to be updated, renovated, and fixed. I know that Dr. Ray was concerned about the air filtering system, and he proposed that they put new filtering systems in all of the schools, which would cost several $1 million. I don't believe that has happened. So how do you retrofit schools and get them ready in a week's time? How's that going to work? And if you bring back the teachers and the students to the class, is there a ready-made plan already laid out for in-person learning again? Or is this going to be a virtual in-person learning session? In other words, if the kids are back in school, will they be looking at a live teacher, or will they be looking at a monitor as they have been throughout the course of this school year so far? This is a big deal, and I hope that some of you are engaged enough to follow the process. Now, the governor is making his state of the state address as we speak, as a matter of fact, in Nashville. So one of my guests is going to join me a bit later on. She is the UEA president, Danette Stokes. She's listening to the speech because he's going to mention this whole deal about getting Shelby County back to school. And as I said earlier, Shelby County is the only school in the entire state of Tennessee that is still doing virtual learning, and he wants that to end. In other news and notes, and first of all, I was neglected. I always do birthdays, anniversaries, special occasions. If you have celebrated a birthday either today or recently, now I know Marquette's is next Wednesday. He's already let us know that next Wednesday, so he gets a shout out next month. He gets his own shout out next week. Look at him. He's already checking it out. See, this Wednesday. Oh, okay. So the shout out is today. So Marquette Walker turns 18 years old this Wednesday. He is ready and roaring and ready to go. He was move to Atlanta and do his little sports thing and leave us all behind and act like he didn't know anything about Memphis or any of us down here. But anyway, happy birthday in advance, my friend. I appreciate you, and I'm really happy that you're here. 18 years old. I vaguely remember that. Well, actually, that's a lie. I don't remember that at all when I was 18 years old. So anyway, happy upcoming birthday to Marquette. And if you have celebrated a birthday this past weekend, have one today. And I know last couple of days on Facebook, a lot of folks celebrating birthdays out there. So happy birthday to you. Happy anniversary, and happy special occasion as well. News and notes on this Monday. The first legislator from the House of Representatives has died of COVID, according to a statement released by his campaign. Ron Wright, representative of Texas, he tested positive back in January. He died yesterday of COVID. He also had some cancer-related issues. He was 67 years old. He's the first member of Congress to die from the virus. Now, many of us already know that vaccinations have begun. Show of hands, how many of you got your vaccinations? Let me look. Let me see. A few of you. Now we're dealing with the 2-dose situation here. We're dealing with the Pfizer and the Moderna, and both of those are double vaccination shots that you have to take. So many of you have your first one, and you're probably in line for your second one coming up here real soon. Keep a very close eye on the Shelby.community, the Shelby County Health Department website, for updated information as to when your shots will be available and when you can make appointments for your shots. Two things to remember. First, you must make an appointment. They will not see you without one, generally speaking, from what I'm told. Secondly, don't arrive 3-4 hours before your appointment. Don't arrive any earlier than an hour before. Whitehaven, the Tennessee Southwest Community College in Whitehaven opened Friday. To understand, everything went well. They vaccinated well over 500 people a day. Thank goodness for that. I know the folks over in that part of town are very, very happy that this is taking place. Continue the effort. Continue the good work. Go get your vaccinations, ladies and gentlemen. We need folks to get healthy. If we have any hope of being, relatively back to whatever we would consider normal, later on this year. We need a lot of people vaccinated, 900,000+ people in this county alone. So, yeah, get out there, get to work, and make it happen. Also, vaccinating in Germantown Baptist Church, in the Appling Road facility, which is going very well. Also, and of course, the Pipkin building. So keep your eyes tuned to the news. They have all of the latest information and the updates. The Shelby County Health Department does as well. So I want to make sure that you guys are all involved in this and staying upright and healthy and strong. So yesterday was the Super Bowl. You know, I maybe they should change the name of it now to the Brady Bowl. He won his 7th ring yesterday in a beatdown of the Kansas City Chiefs, 31-9. I watched that game yesterday, and at halftime I sort of thought maybe Kansas City wants to go home, practice some more, and come back, because they just got completely outplayed in every aspect of that game yesterday. Tommy Terrific went out there and threw 3 touchdown passes. Gronk caught 2. And the defense played just lights out. The defense lights out. And Mahomes was running for his life pretty much most of the game. So congratulations to the Tampa Bay Bucks. Many people feel like this may not be the last championship they win, depending on how long Tom Brady decides he wants to stick around. So a lot of good stuff going on there. Locally, of course, we've had to deal with some more violent episodes, more shootings, some more, I think two deaths over the weekend, several shootings. We still haven't figured out that guns are not the way. I don't know what it will take before that to happen, but guns are not the way. And we need to figure out a better way to solve our problems rather than going down that route. I'm looking here to see if there's anything in particular that I want to mention that I have not mentioned as of yet. Everything is looking pretty much at hand. One final word on the coronavirus and the variants. That it is true that the number of infections here is down. Daily infections is down. The number of deaths is still kind of high, but sort of stabilizing. And the hospitalizations are down, not only here but across the country. Let us not get too excited about this, because there are some variants out there, mutant strains of the coronavirus. The UK strain is here in Shelby County. It is here in Tennessee. We don't know how many cases there are, but we do know that it is more contagious than the original. And if you saw what was going on in Tampa yesterday with all the people everywhere all week long, they don't have any mask ordinance down in Florida. I mean, there were thousands of people on the streets last night. So if you hear something about a super spreader event sometime between now and, say, another week from now, don't be at all surprised. Ladies and gentlemen, let's be smart about this, okay? I mean, these variants are out here. We don't know how many there are, but we do know it's in the area, and they mutate quickly, and you can catch this virus really quickly. So once again, let's continue to do what we've been doing. I know we hate masking and washing our hands and social distancing, but those are the things that are going to keep us hopefully upright and healthy. All right, enough of the lecture. Let's get into the broadcast, shall we? As we go to break, when we come back, we're going to kick the show off. We're going to talk with the new president of Lemoyne Owen College, and we'll have that and much more. This is Real Talk. I'm Chip. You know who you are. We'll be right back.
If you like Real Talk, here's a way you can get involved. Do you have a show topic idea or suggestion? Want to be considered a guest or have a guest idea? Then send Chip a message on his Real Talk show page and you can be a part of the Real Talk experience. So as he always says, go out and tell somebody. We'll be right back.
It's real talk. It's real talk. It's real talk. It's real talk.
Support for WYXR comes from Crosstown Brewery. Available soon, the Studio Session IPA, Raised by Sound, brewed in collaboration with WYXR. For more information, crosstownbrewery.com.
Are you interested in sponsoring the show and want to support WYXR at the same time? To find out how, email us at sponsorships@wyxr.org. Memphis. You can keep the soul of Memphis alive by supporting WYXR. Donate at wyxr.org. All donations are tax deductible, as WYXR is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. Support for WYXR comes from our partner, Spaces Group. Spaces Group is a commercial furniture dealership located in Memphis, Tennessee and Jackson, Mississippi, specializing in furniture for the corporate, healthcare, educational, government, and not-for-profit markets. For more information or to start your project, visit spacesgrp.com.
Crosstown Concourse was founded on the idea that we are all better when we are together, which can be difficult these days. Luckily, Concourse has over 1 million square feet of indoor and outdoor space, so you can spread out while you hang out, eat out, or work out. Learn more at crosstownconcourse.com.
Support for WYXR comes from Crosstown Concourse, offering over 1 million square feet of climate-controlled space to freely run, walk, or jog, take in a YMCA class, or grab and explore a bike share ride on the nearby V&E Green Line. For more information, visit crosstownconcourse.com.
Get Real Talk on the TuneIn mobile app under WYXR, and he's now streaming live on Facebook. And you can also catch a rebroadcast on YouTube. Just put WYXR in the search box and hit subscribe. Now back to more Real Talk with Chip Washington.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Real Radio. We need to try to see if we can't get her, because I got her on. Yeah. So my producer's about to call you back on this number. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Just stand by. Yes, ma'am. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, you are listening. You are in the midst of a Real Radio show. We were having some technical issues here with calling our first guest, and I was able to reach her. Hopefully, Marquette can reach her. I just called her on this. Is there any way we can? Okay, because I was talking to her. As you can hear. That's the number right there. Okay, we're. That's okay. That's okay. That's all right. These things happen. So, while I have a minute, we need to figure this thing out because, as I said before, I have Dr. Vernell Bennett-Fairs, who is the newly elected president of Lemoyne-Owen College. I talked to her a second ago. She said she was by the phone. She was waiting by the phone for me. So I look forward to having a conversation with her. And in the meantime, I got a text message from one of my other guests coming up a little bit later on. Anyway, as soon as we can figure out the phone issue, we're going to move on. But I'm very curious to find out. Are they coming in? I'm very curious to find out what you folks think about this whole school system situation, because this has a great bearing on, not only the health of everybody else, but everybody else. In terms of, how we, because, children aren't the most, sanitary, in the world. Kids are dirty because they're kids. That's what they do. They run around, they touch things. They don't, they don't do, what you would expect them to do in terms of hand washing and wearing the mask and the whole 9 yards. I mean, that's just what being a kid is all about. But to bring all these children back at one time from kindergarten through 12th grade and expect everybody to be ready in terms of, having the PPE, having the mask, and having, the plenty of hand sanitizer. I have not heard any plans whatsoever from the district as to how they could get ready for thousands of children, literally thousands of children at one time. With a situation like this where they're going to be forced, it looks like, to have to go back, and they have to turn this thing around very, very quickly. The state legislature has been pretty determined to try to change things. Now, I do know that at one point, a week or so ago, Davidson County, along with Shelby County, were the only two districts in the state that sort of rebuffed the offer to go back to school. Now, I do know that Davidson County has come up with a plan. They've come up with a plan to reinsert their children back into society, so to speak, and back into the school system. So that leaves Shelby County as the only one. I will apologize. We're trying to get my guest on the phone here and see if we can't try to turn some things around. And I got Marquette is making a phone call right now. We're going to wait and see. But listen, this is what live radio is all about. Sometimes it goes well. Sometimes it goes less than well. Not quite as smooth as you would like it to be. But I think we have touchdown. Yeah, he's on the phone. She's on the phone right now. And hang on just a second. We're going to get her on the line. Dr. Fairs, are you there?
I am here. Good evening.
Good evening to you, Dr. Vernell Bennett-Fairs. Am I correct in that? Did I get that right?
You are correct.
Well, thank you so much for taking it, and please forgive us. You know, we had a little bit of an issue trying to raise you on the phone, but hey, you're here, and I'm happy about that. And
as am I.
And first of all, welcome to Memphis, Tennessee, and the presidency of Lemoyne-Owen College, one of the finest HBCUs in this country. So very happy to have you here with us and leading the charge. And if you don't mind sharing with our audience, kind of give us the road to Lemoyne-Owen, if you don't mind. Where you're coming from before you got here.
Sure. And thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
And thank you for that welcome. I'm enjoying Memphis. My road in higher ed began at Kentucky State University.
Okay.
I spent 20 years at KSU, Frankfort, Kentucky,
Okay.
HBCU. I began as a non-tenured track instructor of music, advanced to the rank of tenured associate professor of music, and then I transitioned into administrative roles. I was the assistant vice president for student affairs, the assistant vice president for diversity and inclusion, the special assistant to the provost and advisor to the president. And then my final role at KSU was as the vice president for student affairs. The last 4.5 years have been spent at Delta State University in Cleveland, Mississippi, where I served in the role of vice president for student affairs.
Well, very good. Well, yeah, DSU. I've been on that campus a couple of times. Yeah. It's a nice, quiet, peaceful little place down there in the middle of the Delta. The only thing I don't like about it, Dr. Fairs, is it's hot. It's summertime down
I
there.
thought you were going to say the mosquitoes.
Well, now you brought up the mosquitoes. Yeah, they can pick you up and move you around. They're down there in the Delta. But listen, that's a very, very interesting background that you have, and clearly you were designed and set to come here to Lemoyne-Owen College. And I guess that would be, one of the first questions I'd like to ask you. I know you're just getting here, you're just getting your feet wet and just kind of figuring out, the course that you want to set for Lemoyne-Owen College. Can you tell us kind of some of the things that you've been thinking about in terms of the direction moving forward?
Yes, my focus is going to be on the 4 R's: recruitment, retention, revenue, and relationships.
Okay.
And the most important of those R's are the relationships. Relationships on campus with faculty, staff, students, off campus with alumni, community members, local corporations, ways of those relationships that will help me advance the institution and her students. So that's my focus. And I've been spending, this is my 4th week. And I've been making relationships. I've been meeting individuals on and off campus, focusing on our recruitment. Hopefully you've seen a couple of our commercials.
I have.
Yes.
Yeah.
Black History Month commercial, and then a commercial that's focused on recruitment, sharing information about the number of scholarships we have available to students in Memphis and the bordering states. So the 4 R's, especially relationships and recruitment, are my focus initially.
We are speaking with Dr. Vernell Bennett-Fairs. She is the new president of Lemoyne-Owen College, and we're so very glad to have her in the city and at the helm of this. I used to work at Tougaloo College in Mississippi, in Jackson, Mississippi. And one of the other sister HBCUs. And let me ask you, since you worked at Delta and you talked about working at Kentucky State, what are some of the greatest challenges that HBCUs have to deal with today?
Mm-hmm. Well, resources. For some, the challenges it's more of a challenge than others.
Mm-hmm.
But, the HBCUs offer so much to a student.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a proud product of a private liberal arts HBCU, Fisk University. And even though I went on to receive my master's and my doctorate from a PWI, those institutions never compared to the nurturing, the support, the preparation that I received at that small private liberal arts HBCU. There's a sense of community there. I was so excited when I learned there are faculty and staff here at Lemoyne-Owen College that have been here 20, 30, 40 years.
Right.
And that speaks to how much they believe in the institution and her students. So very excited to become a part of that environment all over again. It feels like coming home, quite honestly.
Well, Dr. Fairs, now you came into a situation where a lot of people don't, especially coming into HBCUs, and that is, I believe there was a $40 million endowment by the Community Foundation for Lemoyne-Owen. Am I correct in that?
You are correct in that.
So that's a nice start, wouldn't you say?
That is a wonderful start. Now that endowment, what that means is, that's in perpetuity. So, there'll be a certain amount of funds that we'll be able to draw off of that each year.
Sure.
So it's not 40 at one time,
right.
But actually it's even better that there's some longevity to the gift. So grateful for that gift. And we've polled the campus, and I'll be meeting with our board to decide how we want to prioritize those funds.
Yeah, that's going to be a challenge, but a nice challenge to have in terms of this. So you've been here just a few weeks now, and you're getting to know some folks, and more importantly, you're getting to know your college campus family. How big a challenge is this coming into a situation that is not normal in the world of COVID that we live in? And how is the academic learning being done there in the midst of COVID?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Well, adjusting for me has not been a challenge at all. We were actually from March until the spring at Delta State, we went remote after spring break. But in the fall, we brought the students were there.
Okay.
So I'm accustomed to the protocols. I'm accustomed to living during COVID, trying to live as normal as possible.
Sure.
We are remote for the remainder of the semester here, but
Okay.
we have some students that are in the residence hall, and so you'll see a lot of virtual programming. Our faculty have done a great job of adjusting to a new learning environment. We're providing various support systems for those students who it may be an adjustment of matriculating solely virtually. So, we've made the adjustment already, and I expect to be able to know what's going to happen in the summer. We hope to be in person in the summer, so we'll have to see what happens locally and what our state health officials advise.
Yeah, that's going to be the challenge, and that's obviously with the vaccination effort going on now here in Shelby County. We hope that we can get enough folks vaccinated, especially these young folks too, at some point in time. Where we could achieve some sort of herd immunity and be able to get back to life, on campus.
Sure.
I used to love walking around when I worked at Tougaloo, just to see the students, just that life, you know what I mean? And you grew up in all of this, and there's something very special. I tell people this all the time, and I know you can attest to it. There's something very special about an HBCU campus, and I mean, you went to Fisk, and you know about all this, and just for those of us who don't, talk about just what's really special about an HBCU.
I know it may sound a bit cliche, but when I talk about this sense of family and a nurturing support system where they want you, you're in an environment where they're fighting for pulling for your success.
Yes.
And doing everything they can to make sure you're successful.
Mm-hmm.
Those sort of relationships, they're lifetime. Yeah, I still talk to my voice teacher, still know her cell number by heart. those relationships that they last forevermore. Now, I spent 20 years at KSU, and those relationships will be forevermore for me as well. So you're going to find a support system, a system that's there. They're focused on your academic success, of course, but they're focused on your social well-being, your mental well-being, your physical well-being, and they just embrace you.
Yes.
And if I had to choose one word to define my HBCU experience, it would either be family or being embraced.
No doubt about it. And Dr. Vernell Bennett-Fairs, I really, first and foremost, thank you so much for taking some time out to talk to us here at the Real Talk Radio Show. And once again, welcome to Memphis, Tennessee. I hope your tenure is long and successful. And I look forward down the road to hopefully getting a chance to speak with you again.
Well, I hope so. And can I squeeze in a plug for my institution?
Absolutely, you can.
Students are interested in applying, please go to www.loc.edu. If you apply on February 14th, your application fee will be waived.
Oh,
if you apply and you're accepted before March 1st, you will receive a $1,000 scholarship.
Oh my! You have just
that's good stuff.
You had that is excellent stuff. You are really sweetening the pot. So listen out there, prospective students. Lemoyne Owen College wants you, and they're going all out to get you as well. Dr. Fairs, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
All right, you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Well, that was a very nice conversation we just had with the new president of Lemoyne Owen College. Her name is Dr. Vernell Bennett-Fairs. And when we come back after this quick break, we're going to kick the show back into second gear, and we're going to talk a little bit about concourse, the crosstown concourse. I always forget that first part. Anyway, let's go to break, Adam. When we come back, I'll get my tongue fixed. We'll have the phone numbers all set, and we'll have a great interview with Todd Richardson. This is Real Talk. I'm Chip. We're right back.
If you like Real Talk, here's a way you can get involved. Do you have a show topic idea or suggestion? Want to be considered a guest or have a guest idea? Then send Chip a message on his Real Talk show page and you can be a part of the Real Talk experience. So as he always says, go out and tell somebody. We'll be right back.
Like what you're hearing? WYXR is a listener-supported station. Help keep the sound of Memphis alive by donating at WYXR.org.
Support for WYXR comes from our partner, Tamburino. Tamburino's staff of IT specialists help businesses develop a technology strategy that aligns with their business goals. For more information, visit tamburino.com. Are you interested in sponsoring the show and want to support WYXR at the same time? To find out how, email us at sponsorships@wyxr.org.
Support for WYXR comes from Crosstown Brewery. Available soon, the Studio Session IPA, Raised by Sound, brewed in collaboration with WYXR. For more information, crosstownbrewery.com.
Get Real Talk on the TuneIn mobile app under WYXR, and he's now streaming live on Facebook. And you can also catch a rebroadcast on YouTube. Just put WYXR in the search box and hit subscribe. Now back to more Real Talk with Chip Washington.
And welcome back to Real Talk. I'm Chip Washington, your humble host on this Monday evening. Very happy to have you with us. We have our sea legs under us now. And, I am broadcasting to you from a very beautiful facility called the Crosstown Concourse. And many of you who've been around Memphis for a long time me excluded, know what this used to be, the history of this building, and how beautiful it is now. Here we're at the studios of WYXR. But walk us through and give us a little history lesson is Mr. Todd Richardson. He's the president of Crosstown Concourse. Todd, you there?
I am.
Listen, thank you so much for taking some time out of your schedule to visit with us tonight. I really appreciate it.
Hey, no problem. Thanks for having me on.
Man, so listen, this facility that we're in now has quite a bit of history to it. And I'm not going to do a lot of talking. I'm going to let you do some in terms of just kind of where we've come from to where we are now. Because I got to be honest with you, this is a beautiful building, and there's a lot going on here, but there's also stuff I had no idea was here. So kind of walk us through it if you wouldn't mind.
Sure. That's about 100 years. How long do you want me to take?
Man, no. Hey, we'll just keep going and going and going.
We'll just keep going.
Yeah.
No, I mean, the original building was constructed back in 1927.
Okay.
And it was the Southeastern Regional Offices of Sears Roebuck. It was also the distribution center for their catalog order system. And it was a big retail store. It was actually the largest Sears retail store in the country until the late 60s, early 70s.
Is that right? Wow, I didn't know that.
It was, yeah. And so the original building was about 650,000 square feet, and it was built in about 6 months, if you can believe that.
Wow.
And was just it was a huge success, and they just kept adding on, and in 5 different phases, it grew to be 1.5 million square feet, which is kind of the footprint we have today. Just to put that in perspective, that's about 25 football fields of space.
Wow, that's a lot.
And so Sears just continued to grow all the way through. The last addition was in 1965. That was also when they added the parking garage next door. Mm-hmm. And then they kind of enjoyed a good run through really the early 80s. And, it was Amazon before Amazon. Most people in Memphis who are from here remember shopping at Sears,
yes,
or at least visiting during the holidays or whatever else.
Absolutely.
We hear stories all the time. And then in the 80s, Sears got some competition, and Walmart and Service Merchandise and later Circuit City, et cetera. And didn't do so well, and so they closed their retail store in 1983. It became like an outlet store in 1983.
Okay.
And then closed the entire facility, the entire warehouse in 1993.
Okay.
And so it had been abandoned for almost 2 decades by the time we got started. The development team got started on what is now Crosstown Concourse back in 2010.
Now,
and
go ahead, Todd.
Just the high level, what we have today is it's a little city, like you said. There's just so much going on. It's a vertical village. There's on the bottom floor, there's restaurants and coffee and ice cream and a nail salon, a hair salon, a bank branch, just kind of all those things a little village needs. And then floors 2 through 6, our primary tenants are in arts, education, and healthcare.
Okay.
So Crosstown Arts has a contemporary art center. Church Health, if we have an anchor tenant, Church Health has 150,000 square feet there, and they have all of their operations from primary care to wellness to dental and behavioral health. Methodist, St. Jude, Memphis Teacher Residency. There's a new high school in the building.
Really?
So there's a 9th through 12th grade, Crosstown High. It's on the 4th and 5th floors. You'll see them when they come back to school. There'll be about 450 teenagers all around.
Goodness gracious!
Yep,
This is amazing. We're speaking with Todd Richardson. He is the president of Crosstown Concourse and giving me for sure a history lesson of this beautiful facility now. And I had no earthly clue that all of that was going on here. And I will give you a little backstory. You and I talked a little off air about this. I was coming in here one night to do the show, and saw one of my colleagues, one of my coworkers, and, just waved to her, and hey, how you doing? Blah, 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 blah. I just figured she was here to, go to the gym or do something, whatever. And then I saw her again a couple of weeks later, and then I finally asked her at work. I said, why are you down there? And she was like, I live there. I was like, what? So there's some residential, talk about that, some residential sites up here too, upstairs.
Yeah, it's my favorite. I mean, everything is my favorite, but I just love the top 4 floors, 7 through 10, are 265 apartments.
Wow.
And so there's everything from studios, 1 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, and 3 bedrooms. And there's a little over 500 people who live here as well. So kind of pre and post COVID, between the retail and the office and the school and the residential, there's 3,000 people that are coming and going every day.
Oh my goodness gracious. That is, you know what? This is really, you got it going on down here. This really is. And I mean, I know that, for a while between the Sears, kind of going out of business and the building becoming a bit dilapidated, and you all revamping, refurnishing, reproportioning this entire facility. Has it met the dream? If I can ask that question, has it, the vision of what, you may have wanted this to be at one time, has it met or exceeded expectations in your view?
It is not perfect. We can get better every day at what we do, but I always say it's the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah.
It has so far exceeded what we could have even dreamed of. I wish I could tell you that we were smart enough to have intended to do everything in the beginning that has ended up happening today at Crosstown.
Mm-hmm.
But there's just no way. It's such a great group of people that came together, to make it happen, from the development team to our main founding partner tenants to who's here today. It is so much surpassed, our expectations. The ongoing events and programming, once we can get back to all the music shows that happen in the green room and the theater, just a combination of it all. There's something happening every day.
Yeah. This is really just a wonderful place, and I would invite anyone who hasn't yet come down here to see all that is new and all that is this is just a very eclectic place, and I really enjoy coming here, once a week myself. Please make a trip down here. Todd Richardson, thank you, sir, for sharing a bit of time with us and a bit of history about this great facility. And I hope to have you back on the show at a future time to talk a little bit more about what's going on down here.
Anytime, and huge thanks to you, too, for doing what you do for WYXR.
Thank you, sir. I really appreciate you. We'll talk soon.
All right. Take care.
Thanks. Todd Richardson, I tell you, that was a really, really great interview, and everything he said, I had no clue what was going on down here. Did you? Even though you folks that live here, been living here in Memphis for a long time? Anyway, that was great. I really enjoyed that. Thank you, Todd. Final break. When we come back, we're going to talk education and Shelby County Schools with Miss Danette Stokes. She is the president of the United Education Association of Shelby County. This is Real Talk. We're right back.
If you like Real Talk, here's a way you can get involved. Do you have a show topic idea or suggestion? Want to be considered a guest or have a guest idea? Then send Chip a message on his Real Talk show page and you can be a part of the Real Talk experience. So as he always says, go out and tell somebody. We'll be right back.
Don't miss Memphis Forward, where legendary Memphis journalists Otis Sanford and U of M President M. David Rudd talk about academics, athletics, and discovery, all the things driving Memphis to what's next. Tune in the second and fourth Tuesday each month at 11 for Memphis Forward.
Memphis. You can keep the soul of Memphis alive by supporting WYXR. Donate at WYXR.org. All donations are tax deductible, as WYXR is a 501c3 nonprofit organization.
Get Real Talk on the TuneIn mobile app under WYXR, and he's now streaming live on Facebook. And you can also catch a rebroadcast on YouTube. Just put WYXR in the search box and hit subscribe. Now back to more Real Talk with Chip Washington.
And welcome back to Real Talk. Chip Washington here, your host. As we round the corner on another great program, we are going to go back to talking about education. That seems to be the subject of the day, particularly here in Shelby County, as pertains to whether you should or whether we should or whether we shouldn't. That was my question at the top of the show. Go back to school. I'm about to speak to someone right now who has definite views on this. Her name is Danette Stokes, and she is the president of the United Education Association of Shelby County. Danette, thank you so much for taking some time to be with us. I appreciate it.
Hi, thank you for having me, Chip. I appreciate that.
Okay, well, so, this subject of schools and the return of back to school in-person learning has been quite the hot topic down here of late. In particular, the state legislature is circulating a bill now to give the governor executive authority to be able to bring you all back, whether you want to come back or not, in some of your various issues that you all have. First and foremost, tell me what you think about all that.
Well, first of all, I just wish that the governor would prioritize educators to have access to the vaccine. That's number one. Mm-hmm. And then, just in addition to that, because the vaccine is only a part of the puzzle. Mm-hmm. We also need PPEs. We need ventilation, upgrades. There are a lot of things that he's not considering. He's not considering our communities, the communities that we serve, mm-hmm. our students, mm-hmm. The families here, period. He's just basically wanting to reopen, but he's not doing his part to help us to reopen safely. Because what we don't want to happen is for us to reopen our schools, and then we have cases to break out, then we have to quarantine, and then we have to come back again. That's a break in the instruction. And we have been providing instruction since day one virtually. Mm-hmm. We've done what no one else has ever done in our lifetime, and that is step up and teach virtually mm-hmm. in a pandemic, during a pandemic. Yeah. So nobody wants to be back in person more than educators. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's what we were trained to do. Mm-hmm. It is our desire to be with our students so that we can teach them in person. But we have to do it in a way where it's safe for us to do it. Governor Lee, he really never took control of the pandemic from day one. Mm-hmm. In the very beginning, in March, Dr. Ray, our superintendent, he made the call to shut down the school system. Right. And he did it in an effort to keep us safe, mm-hmm. the community, mm-hmm. students, everybody safe. Mm-hmm. So he did something that our own governor didn't do. Yeah. If Governor Lee had if he had just given a state mandate for masks, then maybe, the numbers wouldn't be so high. And and then give us a plan. You tell us to reopen, but then you don't give us a plan on how you want us to do this. And I just don't think that it's his I don't think he should force something that's going on, force us to go back into the school system when we know what's best, for our community.
We're speaking with Danette Stokes, president of the United Education Association of Shelby County, the last couple of minutes of the show here. And you made some very valid points. And then last I checked, when there was a survey done with not only parents' concerns of bringing their children back to school, but more importantly, teachers feeling safe enough to go back to school, I think it was overwhelmingly both ways no. Am I correct in that?
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
And that
so for him to make that call and say, well, I'm going to force you all back, into the school systems. Well, okay, give us what we need, and we'll go back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not that we don't want to go back, but just give us priority access to the vaccine, and then on top of that, provide us with the proper PPE.
Do you feel any additional pressure, or does the district, now that it is the only district in the state that is still doing virtual learning, and that is basically being forced back into the classroom?
So, I can't speak for the district, but as far as we are concerned, educators, we feel like, you know, the governor is trying to put pressure on us to do something that he's not providing us with the means to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the committees from the last I read, the committees in Nashville, the state committees, they were meeting virtually. You know, they weren't back into the classroom, and even the Super Bowl, you know,
right.
prime example.
Sure.
We're not going to have Super Bowl parties, you know, but yet push us back into the classroom with how many students?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a double standard, and again, we want to be back. We know we miss our kids. We want to be back in there with our students. But one thing is for sure, class is in session. Children are learning. We're doing what we have to do
right
to
now.
make sure that our students are getting what they deserve and what they need. So we are. Yeah, that's where we are right now.
Well, this is, this is obviously, you know, a top story and a top concern for a lot of people. I mean, you know, clearly you brought up some very interesting points about, you know, being prepared, PPE, vaccinations, the whole 9 yards. It's going back basically without a plan, just saying because I want you to go back, you need to go back. And
right.
I don't know how all that's going to fare out, but we're going to keep a very close watch on this situation. And Ms. Danette Stokes, I thank you for taking some time out of your schedule to visit with us tonight. And if you don't mind, I'll be checking back with you as we move forward here, because I'm pretty sure we'll be making some news here sooner rather than later.
Right, yes. And thanks again for having me. I appreciate the opportunity to speak on behalf of educators in Shelby County Schools.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, there you go. That's a good way to wrap things up on this Monday evening. I don't know how this school thing is going to shake out. I really don't. Man, this is a big deal. And if you're not engaged in it as a parent or a teacher or educator or, you know, administrator, you need to be. You need to pay very close attention to what's going on here with the state government, what they're trying to do. No vaccinations for the teachers right now. I don't know any other additional protection, PPEs, the whole nine. This is, for me, it's a big deal. It really is, and hopefully, you know, we shall see what we shall see in terms of how this turns out. But in any event, we have wrapped up another edition of Real Talk with your host Chip Washington. Thank you so much for being with us as Adam plays us out of here. Really appreciate you taking some time, if you've done so, to visit with this show, listen to us. And as always, if we could do it a little bit better, don't mind at all a suggestion. If you have a guest suggestion, that'd be great as well. But in the meantime, in between time, thank you. That's pretty much as simple as I can get it. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I'm humbled by the opportunity to be here every week. And the Lord says so, I'll be back here, same station, same time, and same chair with my two guys, Marquette and Adam. And as we head out, I say simply, I'm Chip, and I'm out.